This is how I lost 200k. Today I'm going to show you. Let's go. Okay, recently there's this news once again. HDB resale prices climbed 1.8% in Q1. More flats sold. So it brings us back to the question today. If let's say you want to sell your HDB flat, is this the best time to sell? Or should you continue to wait if let's say you are upgrading? Because it only makes sense that if every quarter it goes up by 1.8%, let's say 2% if we average it out. Based on a $1 million property, every quarter you make 20,000 more, and 20,000 means a lot of money. So today I'm going to deep dive into the numbers. Some of you that know me, you know my first property was actually a HDB flat at Jalan Tenteram, and it felt like the absolute no-brainer because it's such an affordable place to stay, and I can focus on building my wealth in other areas as well. But eventually I sold the property, and today, right, just because we are doing this content, I went to go and check on Property Guru. My property, I bought it at 638,000 2017. Unfortunately, because I was upgrading, I sold it off at 578,000. And guess how much today the property is worth? The property is worth, I think the last transacted was on the 16th floor. Mine was on the 17th. It was transacted 760,000. Whereas my one was actually sold at 570k. So you may also put into consideration maybe this unit is more renovated than my unit. But all in all, I would say that I actually, if you look at on surface, I actually make a loss of about 200,000. And bro, 200,000 from 27 until now 7 years, every year I lose about 30,000. So it's quite in line with what we actually predicted earlier on. Every year about 3 to 5% growth in terms of the pricing for the HDB. And is it worth it at the end of the day? Okay, so how this video is going to work is, first up, we're going to share with you the major milestones of HDB, the rulings and the government changes. Second, I will be sharing with you one of the examples of a client that actually sold their HDB flat in 2021 when it met its MOP. Today, it could have sold at a higher pricing, but what happened to the person? Is it worth it or not? So you can gain a bit of clarity and confidence about your upgrade decision. Last but not least, I'll give you my recommendations of what you should be doing if let's say you're owning a HDB flat that was purchased before COVID. And for those that are interested to know what happened to me after I sold my HDB flat, I have a video over here. You can go check it out. It talks about how much I made from my previous property that I just sold, so that you have a bit of understanding over there. So by now, if you have not liked this video, do me a favor. If you appreciate open sharing, tap the like button because it will help me a great deal. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the HDB prices, looking at the HDB price index, you can see major milestones over here. So before the year 2010, right, if you didn't know, when I was a new agent back then, people who own private properties could buy HDB flats and still take a loan to buy. And as long as they don't take up any HDB loan which they don't qualify for, or they don't take any grant, right, they can actually just sell it off within a year. And for those that take a HDB loan, they only need to fulfill an MOP of 2.5 years if let's say they are not taking any grant in the resale market. So back in those days, right, a lot of my private property owners are also looking out to buy HDB flats and then flip them after 1 year just to make profit. And if you look at the trends back then, the recovery after SARS, right, in 2007, HDB property price index was at 80 points. It shoot all the way up to 2013, that time was 140. So let's just take a 1 year time frame, let's say from 2007 at 75 index point. Just within like 4 to 5 quarters during Lehman crisis, went up by almost 30%. So if a HDB flat back then was worth, let's say, 400k, the buyer would have made 100,000 just within a 1 year time frame. But government came in 2010 saying that people who own private properties, if let's say you buy a HDB flat, you will need to dispose the private property within 6 months. Did that stop the market? Not really. Maybe slow down a bit. You just remove some of the buyers. That means you see, today is just all about supply and demand. Let's say government come up with measures, means they are actually curbing the demand. Means some of the people that own private properties, approximately 20% of Singaporeans, they cannot buy HDB flat anymore. So HDBs will become more of an own stay asset already. And then a few years later, government still not very happy with the price growth. What they did was they actually came up with something called the mortgage servicing ratio, which back then, if I'm not wrong, you can actually use 50% of your pay to go and service your mortgage. When the MSR came in, it became 35%, it became 30%, and until this day, it's still 30%. Means to say that the amount of loan qualified for the buyers when they are assessing their loan eligibility would drop substantially. Not to forget, they also reduced the loan tenure from 30 years to 25 years, making it even more difficult. And that was the main game changer. After which, look at the prices. it starts tapering down. So in 2014, it met its all-time low. I won't go into the details, but you know why MSR actually affects the pricing over there. And HDB prices continue to maintain. Ultimately, I won't think HDB price will drop significantly. However, government is constantly trying to maintain because it's difficult for the government to let the price drop because the people that own their existing property will be very upset. They also cannot let the price go up too fast because the new families will struggle to buy a property. So it's about finding the sweet spot. So the prices actually maintain quite a fair bit until COVID-19, where even resale property prices actually go up. And by now, you'll be wondering, why am I telling you all the history? You know all these things from internet. But it's just to let you have clarity on why HDB prices gone up. Ever since it started going down in 2012, all the way for 8 years, you never see HDB prices going up. That means people who bought resale in 2012, right, they never see light all the way until COVID. Just to give you an understanding, we're going to deep dive into an actual scenario of a client selling off their HDB flat, moving on to a private property in 2021. Where are they now? So first, 311A Clementi Avenue 4. We all love Clementi, right? August 2021, 38th floor unit was sold at $1 million. And fast forward in 2023, which is about 2 years plus later, the prices went up to 1.16 million. Another one more, 312B Clementi Avenue 4, June 2021, transacted 38th floor, 970,000. April 2024, which is almost coming 3 years. Today is worth 1.2 million. So the person that sold their HDB flat in 2021, you actually missed out on 200 over 1,000 in terms of capital appreciation. I'm giving you all this Clementi because the amounts are more substantial. But basically, right, the people that sold in 2021 in Clementi, a 5-room flat, if they didn't sell in 2021, today they'll be making like another $150,000 more, which if you ask me 3 years, 250,000 can do a lot of things. But now, if you look back at the person that sold in year 2021, move on to a private property in Claiborne. Now I'm looking at the Claiborne transaction in year 2021 in April. The 3-bedroom premium units at 1130 square feet for, let's say, a mid-floor unit was $1.831 million back then. Today, how much is it worth? There's no other transactions done recently because many of them are still waiting to clear their seller stamp duty. I'm very sure transactions will start popping up very, very soon. But let's just take a look at the market. What can you get right now? I'm going on to Property Guru. This one, my agent. Wow, $2.2 million. Looks like not bad high floor also. Higher than 10th floor. Check inside. Oh, 2.2 million starting from. Okay, never mind. Let's go and look at other units. $2.3 million starting from also. That means today if you want to buy a Claiborne, right, in Clementi, you need to pay above 2.2 or 2.3 million in order to buy that. So if you look at $2.2 million minus 2.25 lah, let's say you buy at 2.25 million. 2.25 million minus of the 1.83 means to say that the private property actually went up by 420,000. So question over here is this, do you think it's worthy or not? It's always about a delayed gratification versus immediate gratification kind of thing. Of course, today, if you still hold on to the HDB flat, you don't need to worry about installment because Clementi BTO back then, maybe you only bought 400 over 1,000 or maybe 500, maybe 600k. So monthly installment, we are talking about like 1,000 plus $2,000. As good as not paying installments, CPA can cover all. But moving on to the next one for Claiborne, right, it will be a different scenario altogether because every month you need to pay thousands of dollars for your monthly installment. The next one is going to shock you. Whistler Grand, 2021, March. 34th story was transacted. 4-bedroom, $1.884 million. Some will say that, bo liao lah, buy 34th floor, no lah, buy low floor better for investment. Watch what happens next. 23rd floor in February 2024 in the resale market was transacted at 2.38 million. So just using a 23rd floor unit price, right, the price actually went up by more than 500k already within like 3 years. And then if you look at the top floor unit over here and you go to Property Guru, what is available in the market right now, they're all asking for $2.4, $2.5, $2.6 million for the high floor units. And you cannot get any 4-bedroom for under $2.3 million right now for a high floor unit. If you use $2.5 million as the current valuation of this property, $2.5 million minus $1.88 million means to say that the person makes 600k. Now, after having said all these things, do you think it's worth it or not worth it? I'm coming to my point already. You won't be able to guarantee this kind of growth for the properties that you purchase. So we always fall back to our fundamentals on whether should you or should you not do it, which is can you afford the down payment, the loan, and most importantly, can you afford to pay it off comfortably every month and have a reasonable amount of reserve funds for you to tide through difficult periods of time. If you have, yes, you're good to go. If you are not sure what I'm talking about, check out my other videos. We always talk about these 3 factors and then decide for yourself. On top of that, before you commit to anything, you also have to make sure that you identify an asset that has the potential to generate the 20 to 30% upside over that time frame. So if you wish to identify which are the ones that have the potential to give you that kind of financial advantage later on, do check out this video because I explain in details how to identify a profit generating asset class. With that being said, yes, you should do it if you fulfill the above criteria. Importantly, you identified the right one that can give you the financial advantage, i.e. give you the profit margin 3 years later. So in conclusion, just look at this chart. I won't have to explain too much. Paying for a condominium is obviously a better way to hedge your money against inflation, if not to grow your wealth, as opposed to buying a HDB flat or fully paying out the HDB flat, because HDB prices will not grow as fast as the condominium. And for those people who are very frugal, come on, I grew up in a not very well-to-do, below average family, and we always believe in being frugal. But if you look over here, if you're paying for a HDB flat, and if you drive, you pay $120 for your sheltered car park, you pay $50 for your monthly town council charges, and if you have an Energy One gym just yourself, right, you have to pay the latest promotion is $70. So 70 plus 50 plus 120 is altogether $240. If you're staying in a condo, like for example Whistler Grand, if I'm not wrong, the 3-bedroom unit monthly maintenance should be about $300. The difference is not super significant. So today, right, if let's say you are frugal, maybe sometimes if you and your wife both work out, it could be a better option to buy the private property. Let me know what you think inside the comments. And if let's say you think that people are buying for the gym to enjoy all these things, you totally don't work out, don't nothing, okay, fine. Today, right, this is actually the game plan that people are going for. Is this a plan that suits you? Is this something that you believe also that property is still a good form of wealth creation, if not wealth preservation? All in all, is it scary to up your monthly installment by so much? Absolutely yes. Is it worth it? Depends. If you're like me, who believes in delayed gratification, you believe that buying a property will force you to be more prudent or be more wiser in terms of a monthly spending, then it's for you. If you have any questions, I'm just a message away, and I hope that you benefited from today's sharing. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification bell because we post weekly real estate videos like this. Also, consider joining our Telegram channel where we post daily real estate news. With that being said, wish you all the best and I'll see you at the next one.